here at SmartWorks today talking to some of their client champions. Hi Mel, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you, Laura, for having me.
So tell me a bit about your SmartWorks journey.
A couple of years ago, I unfortunately was made redundant, and I've been with the company at the time for almost 10 years, so it was a significant change. However, I decided to take it in my strides, but what I didn't know is going back into the work world was going to be a bit more challenging than expected. Quite a long time had passed before I was able to secure a role, but before I got to that point, I was introduced to SmartWorks by my local job centre. By the time I got in contact with SmartWorks, my confidence was at its lowest. But when I walked through the doors of SmartWorks, they were really kind. I received a very, very warm welcome, and they explained the journey that I would have with regards to receiving the services that they offered, and that included sitting down with a careers coach and also doing a fitting afterwards as well. I had 2 interviews that was coming up, and the session that I had with a career coach enabled me to prepare myself for those interviews that were coming up. And also I had an outfit as well as part of that appointment. So I was able to go into my interviews feeling prepared. And through that contact, I was able to secure one of those roles.
And it must have felt amazing to get back into work.
Oh yes, it definitely was, because like I was saying, I didn't realize that it would have been challenging leading into me securing another role after that redundancy. So when I was successful in doing so, it was a relief for me because it meant that I can become financially independent again. One of the other things that I thought was really important for me securing a role is I have 2 daughters, and for me, I am a role model for them, and I want them to be able to see me working. I have a career, I can contribute towards the financial obligations within the household as well. So it's very important. It was very, very important for my daughters to be able to see that firsthand from their mother. So securing a role enabled me to do that.
And were they excited when you went back and said that you got a job?
They had mixed feelings because they got used to mom being at home all the time. However, especially my eldest daughter, she probably understood a bit more of how it meant to me, because unfortunately, you don't realize the impact that it has in your personal life. You try to not, make that happen, but indirectly it does. And I think my eldest recognized that it did mean a lot to me to be able to go back within the working world.
Yeah, so what was the biggest financial change from getting back into work and finding that job again?
For me personally, it was the fact that like I said earlier, I was able to become financially independent again. I had a very supportive partner, I must add, but it's just a sense of, no, I'm able to see a regular income for myself, and that definitely meant quite a lot at that point.
And has financial independence always been important to you?
It has, certainly, because as long as I've known myself, or all my adult years, I've always been in employment, and it enables me to have that sense of, I would say freedom, but I use that fluidly because I know that for some people, being employed might not be the same or mean the same thing for everyone. But for me personally, it enables me to be able to meet certain personal obligations for myself that I probably might not have been able to do prior to securing a role.
What's your biggest money tip for people returning to work or getting started in work for the first time?
I think the first thing is you need to be kind to yourself and take it slow, because like for me, where I've been out of employment for a significant amount of period, we're talking almost a year, I needed to understand that when I did secure employment, I needed to take it slow. So you might have probably arrears that you might have incurred as a result of not being employed. Just have a plan and take it slowly. You're not going to change things right away. But as long as you stick to your plan, then you'll be all right.
That's such good advice. Thank you.
One question I wanted to ask you, Laura, is, so as I mentioned earlier, I have 2 daughters, and I would like to think more about how I can save for them or make more investment preparation for them as they get older, especially my eldest daughter that's going to be starting secondary schools soon. So what is your tip as a parent in terms of what I can put in place from a savings perspective for my children?
So I think it's always a thing that parents think about that then drops down the bottom of the to-do list is sorting out savings or investing for their kids. But it's great that you're thinking about it now. So you've got a 4 and a 10-year-old, so they're quite different ages. But we know that kids don't really get any cheaper as they get older. For your 10-year-old, you've got buying nice clothes, you've got driving lessons, you've got maybe university in the future. And so it's a really good idea to think about it now. The money that you put away while they're younger will be really valuable in the future. Lots of parents tend to stick to cash savings accounts when it comes to their kids. And that is a good option, particularly if your child is nearer the age where they'll need to use the money, so closer to 18 probably. But particularly for your 4-year-old, it's definitely worth thinking about investing because that can generate higher returns over the long run. Lots of people think you need to start with loads of money to get into investing, but actually you can save into a junior ISA account for £25 a month. So setting up something that's regular like that pays into each of their accounts a little and often will really add up over the long term.